both just made eye contact, and this can be anywhere. This can be at a train station, it can be inside a college campus, at the gym, wherever. Two people, if they make eye contact, they feel attracted, they need to take out their phone, open and press the I made eye contact button. When you do that, and when the other person also does that, will show you each other's profile.
Other dating apps like Tinder and Bumble, the main part where your app differentiates itself from these is that you can actually connect to unknown people the moment you see them, right? Or the moment you have an eye contact with them, which other apps would not allow. K-series, K-drama.
Right,
or usme there was a sequence where there is a college and there, people are using this app and they open the app and when they make an eye contact and things like those.
Two people having the app, they're walking on Marine Drive, they see each other, they feel something, they're like, let me just check my luck on, and they both press the button and it matches them. It's magic. She's attractive now, and I'm, if I'm gonna miss this opportunity, she's gone. I'm probably never gonna see. It's actually interesting because it was a combination of the two, right? So when I was like 17, 18, 19 years old, I would make eye contact with women, and I still do. Like, I wouldn't lie to you, and I'm sure a lot of people in this room can agree.
Not married, and so why would you not?
Exactly. And
these days even married people do it. So why wouldn't a non-married person not do it?
Completely. There's just no platform that will enable you to connect with the person that you made eye contact with right now. Because I looked at the other dating apps, they were all like based on swiping, etc. I've made the display picture a mandatory selfie. Like, for you to use the app, you have to upload your selfie.
You can't upload a picture from the gallery.
Correct.
That's when the cheating happens. इस एपिसोड में हम बात कर रहे हैं मुंबई से ऋषभ मेहता से. इन्होंने एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग डेटिंग ऐप बनाई है जिसका नाम है कस्प. क्या इसमें अलग है? जैसे आप लोगों ने बम्बल यूज़ किया होगा, टिंडर यूज़ किया होगा, उसमें स्वाइप वगैरह वाली चीज़ है. इसमें इन्होंने एक नई चीज़ लाए हैं कि आप अगर कहीं पे हो और आपका किसी के साथ आई कांटेक्ट होता है तो यू कैन एक्चुअली ओपन द ऐप एंड यू कैन फाइंड दैट पर्सन. सो जो भी हुआ है वो है स्पेशली शाय, तो उनके लिए बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है. अगर ये हमारे टाइम पे आया होता 10 साल पहले तो मुझे भी इसका फ़ायदा मिलता, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली फॉर मी दिस हैज़ कम नाउ. सो हैव अ लिसन टू दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन बिकॉज कॉन्सेप्ट एकदम नया है और इंडिया में तो एटलीस्ट मैंने तो ये फर्स्ट टाइम सुना है. शायद और ऐप्स होंगी लेकिन मैंने तो सुना नहीं है. तो आप कॉन्वर्सेशन सुनिए, आपको पूरी डिटेल इसके बारे में मिलेगी, कहाँ से इन्होंने ये आइडिया सोचा और अब कहाँ लेके जाना चाहते हैं इनको. यंग एस्पायरिंग आदमी है, तो हियर दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन, यू आर गोना एंजॉय इट. सो ऋषभ मेहता फ्रॉम मुंबई. मेरे को लगता है नाम के अलावा आई डोंट थिंक सो वी शेयर मच इन कॉमन, क्योंकि आपने तो डेटिंग कुछ अलग ही जगह पे ले जा रहे हैं. हमारे टाइम पे तो डेटिंग बहुत अलग होती थी. एनीवे, व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू गेट टू इज़ योर ऐप दैट यू मेड. बिफोर दैट जस्ट टॉक अबाउट योर सेल्फ कि आपने कहाँ से शुरू किया एंड हाउ डिड यू रीच टिल योर मेकिंग दिस ऐप.
आई एम ऋषभ मेहता, 27 years old, मुंबई में पला बड़ा हूँ. Did my schooling, shortly after that did science, 11th and 12th, pretty much part of the rat race, didn't know what I was doing, did not do engineering, thankfully, did a BSc in computer science. I was like a tech geek throughout my life, as far as I can remember. And at the same time I was partying a lot too, because some of my friends from Mumbai are deep into events and nightlife curation, events at like different bars and clubs every other month. So I was kind of seeing these two worlds come together, like the whole tech world and the whole, partying and people getting together. And shortly after that, I took the GRE, went to the US, got a master's degree, worked there for like, 3 years in Fortune 4 and Fortune 100 companies in product management. And in that time, I launched Cusp, and now I'm back in Mumbai trying to take Cusp to market. So that's just a little bit about me.
Okay, so just to tap into what you did in the US, so there was something related to marketing that you did as well, door-to-door marketing or something like that?
Correct. So that was actually before I went to the US. So
that was in India. Okay.
Yeah, this was in the time that I had graduated from BSc Computer Science, and I still had like 6 months before I had to fly to the US. So I'm like, in these 6 months, let me just make the most of it. I got a job which was door-to-door sales, knocking on people's doors. I had two clients where I was working. So one was an NGO, which was it's called Sight Savers. They help like blind people with a lot of different things. And then the second one was Google Street View. So for Google Street View, I had to knock on individual doors, businesses, and tell them that I can implement Google Street View for you, and it'll look like this on Google, and you'll get like a lot more visibility on the platform. And then on this NGO side, it was just raising money for the charity, and basically asking people for donation, going door to door. So it was pretty daunting, I would say, for a first job. And yeah, it was all direct sales. It was a lot of leadership lessons I learned along the way. Understood how money works in terms of from the client to the customer. And yeah, it was about like combination of sales and marketing essentially.
So it was the tech guy inside you which made you think of this dating app, or the experiences you had with dating that made you think of this app? What was it?
Yeah, it's actually interesting because it was a combination of the two, right? So when I was like 17, 18, 19 years old, I would make eye contact with women, and I still do. Like, I wouldn't lie to you. And I'm sure a lot of people in this room can agree.
Not married, and so why would you not? Yeah,
exactly. And
these days, even married people do it. So why wouldn't a non-married person not do it?
Completely. And, eye contact is it's like the first point of communication between two people. Like, the first thing that happens between you and someone else when you see them is you make eye contact, or you check them out, like who they are, so that's so I was making a lot of that with women. Like I said, I still do. And I'm like, there's just no platform that will enable you to connect with the person that you made eye contact with right now. Because, I looked at the other dating apps, they were all like based on swiping, etc. There was nothing like real time that captured this real world, intimate moment, awkward moment that you had for like 2 seconds, and use that as a trigger to get you connected with that person. So that was an idea I always had, but it wasn't until I turned like 24 in the US with some experience in the tech world, with some capital saved up, that I was actually able to kind of put it down on paper and then, like I said, build the app. So yeah, that it was about 5 years, like 17, 18, 19, I had the idea, but only at 24, I actually started building it.
So then you mentioned other dating apps like Tinder and Bumble, and these are the names I'm aware of. There must be many more out there. So the main part where your app differentiates itself from these is that you can actually connect to unknown people the moment you see them, right? Or the moment you have an eye contact with them, which other apps would not allow you. Yeah. I think still these other apps use location-based, services where if you see someone, they might show you that person, but it's still not 100% that you've seen someone and the same person is going to be connected with you, right? So that's the main part where it differentiates itself.
So that's actually the part that's common between Cusp and other dating apps. So when Cusp uses your location, without your location, it wouldn't be able to tell where you are, and then it wouldn't be able to show you the profiles that are around you. So definitely it uses your location, but how Cusp is different is that I want to compel the user to take action on the eye contact they make in that moment, because think about all the times you've made eye contact. It's like you make eye contact and 2 seconds later it's gone. Maybe it's a little awkward. It's too, there's some tension. Maybe you're on the opposite side of the street. You have something else going on in it. For a number of reasons, it kind of just perishes between that intimate moment between you and them. So it's like now with Cusp, if you both have the app and you both just made eye contact, and this can be anywhere, this can be at a train station, it can be inside a college campus, at the gym, wherever, two people, if they make eye contact, they feel attracted, they need to take out their phones, open Cusp and press the I made eye contact button. There's a button on it that says I made eye contact. So when you do that, and when the other person also does that, Cusp will show you each other's profiles, because obviously it has your location and literally you're like so close to each other. So it's like, it's going to show you that the profile closest to you, and then you both accept, and then there's a match. So there's like a very carefully thought out mutual acceptance process before you even get connected with the other person.
So what happens if one of them doesn't press the I made so both need to just press I made the eye contact
I made eye contact button. That is right.
And then it matches the both of you, right?
Correct. So when you press the I made eye contact button, Cusp will show you all the profiles that press that button 2 minutes before you and 2 minutes after you. So it's like very real time. It's like, so right now, think about 5 years later when thousands of people are using the app. So at any given time when you press the I made eye contact button, there's going to be someone else in 200-300 meters who also presses it.
Correct.
But that's not necessary that
for you. It's not for you. It's
exactly.
That's what I was. You are just answering my next question. Yeah.
Correct. So it's like, so 2 minutes, that 2 minute timer pretty much restricts it to that particular moment that you had. So it's chances are less that just 2 minutes before you, someone also made eye contact. And so, these can be.
But it could happen at a party when there are like hundreds of people in the same place.
You're right. So when you do that, when you press that button, the app will show you all the profiles that also press that button 2 minutes before you, 2 minutes after you, within a radius of 300 meters. So that's the distance factor. The time factor is 2 minutes. Distance factor is 300. So it's like where you are and in that moment. So it's very channelized and concentrated to people around you and who are using the app at that point. In a nightclub, bar, restaurant, surely there could be a lot of people using it at the same time. So in that case, you'll see all their profiles.
Okay. But, and then probably you'll figure out the one you saw because you wouldn't forget it in just such a short time if it was an eye contact. Right?
You're right. And so to kind of add on to that, I've made the display picture a mandatory selfie. Like, for you to use the app, you have to upload your selfie.
You can't upload a picture from the gallery.
Correct.
That's when the cheating happens, right?
So that reduces fake profiles significantly. And two, it allows you to recognize the person you saw in real life on Cusp. Because if you were to put like an edited, filtered picture, so even if you make eye contact and you press the button, you might not be able to recognize that person if they have a very edited display picture. So it has to be like an original live selfie. So it authenticates you and it allows you to recognize. So for those two reasons, I've made that display picture a mandatory selfie.
Correct. But then there must be ways of still verifying that the display picture belongs to the same person, because what I could do is I could upload my friend's picture, like I could meet him and upload his selfie.
Right.
Then does that picture get verified with my Gmail or Facebook or other accounts that it's the same person?
Correct. So if you, so say, you download the app, you put your own picture. Now, if your friend, for example, he wants to use the app, if he clicks your picture and if he uploads it on his profile, he'll get an error saying this person already exists in the database.
But what if that person doesn't have the app?
Who doesn't have the app? Like
you are saying that if I took my friend's picture and uploaded it, then the app will reject it that that person already has another profile, right?
Yeah. So if they already have a profile and they've put their picture, then no one else
then your AI will come to know that it's the same person, right?
It's not even AI, honestly. It's just comparison,
face recognition,
and face comparison. So first it verifies that it's a human face. So there's two application programming interfaces, APIs. There, so one that recognizes a human face from a dog face, for example, or like a photo from the internet. And the second thing is it compares it with the existing pictures in the database to tell you that, this is a unique picture. So as long as it's a unique picture, you'll be able to like create a profile. And there will still be people, who will take their friends' pictures and they'll still find a way to be on the app. But,
it will be restricted to quite, 100% आप कोई भी चीज़ को eliminate तो नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ अगर आप इसमें आगे जाके ये भी कर सकते हैं कि आप उसका you have a link to their Facebook या Instagram के साथ और फिर वो picture के साथ अगर वो match नहीं हो रहा है तो you can reject it. Does that require a lot more tech or it can be done?
It can be done, but it's just that not everyone necessarily has their own picture as their Instagram like display picture, for example. So for Cusp to compare that picture with the entire profile of Instagram, instead of that, it just compares it with the existing pictures in Cusp's database for authenticity.
So the only challenge here you would have is that till the time you have like many users, it's like your app is going to come to its full potential only when it has like an X number of users or a lot more users. Would that be correct to say?
Of course. So, if you look at any of the social media apps, and dating apps are a subset of social media apps by and large. So, every social media app, if you see Facebook, it started with Facebook, then Instagram came, Snapchat, all these social media giants now, they all needed like a network effect to kick in. So network effect essentially happens when, you go all out with the marketing, you have some insane PR going on. People are actually loving the product. They're finding value in it. Monetization is still like a later game or, but that's not the first priority. First priority is actually getting, solving some crucial problems for the user and getting them hooked to the product. So once you do that, the word starts to spread. So now when you have like, 5-10 colleges, now from them, the word is spread into like 15-20 other colleges. And all of a sudden from 1,000 users, you go to like 20,000 users in a period of 2 weeks. So that's when network effect kicks in. Like now a lot of people have the app and now they're, walking on Marine Drive, for example. Two people having the app, they're walking on Marine Drive, they see each other, they feel something, they're like, let me just check my luck on Cusp. And they both press the button and it matches them. It's magic. It's like I downloaded this app for this purpose and it serves that exactly. So yeah, a network effect is essential for any social media dating app to function and be successful.
तो अभी अप्रोक्सीमेटली कितने यूजर्स है जिन्होंने ये डाउनलोड की हुई?
हाँ, तो अभी 300 downloads. I've had 300 downloads because I've only been live since May 2024 really, and I started the whole digital marketing process towards the end of May 2024 this year. So 300 downloads, about 50 active users. So as of now, there's like 50 people in Mumbai using Cusp. And most of these users I got because I had an event at Ruya College, Matunga, very recently. So it was through the Rotaract Club of Deonar. They collaborated with me to have an event at Ruya, and they had like 100 students coming in. So they all had to download the app, create a profile, and we did a pilot testing in there, and they absolutely loved the product. So it's like all those users, almost all of them have been retained. So now I'm thinking on greater user retention strategies and how to serve my existing users. But I feel like I still have kind of a long way to go before.
Yeah, I mean 50 people means you've essentially like not even started, or you've just started,
Yes,
you can say. So
you're right.
इसमें तो फिर ये भी मैं पूछना चाहता था कि मेल टू फीमेल रेशियो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है. लाइक इफ यू आर हैविंग 10,000 डाउनलोड्स बट देयर आर 9,500 मेन, तो फिर क्या करेंगे? और देन यू हैव टू हैव लाइक probably men who are not straight to be using the app for 9,500 to find what they want. So are you keeping a tab on a male to female ratio? Because essentially, I mean, everyone knows it in our country, you'll find probably more men at least in the beginning than female. So what do you do to get this balance?
Yeah, so if you Google male to female ratio on dating apps, it's a disaster. It's like 9 men for 1 woman.
Yeah,
so that's the case with even the existing dating apps.
But at least their database is so big database that if they are having like say 50 lakh, I'm just throwing a number, I don't know the data. If they have 50 lakh like men, and then they have like 10 lakh females or something like that, there's still 10 lakh females who are there.
That's right.
So for us, when the number is very small, then the ratio matters a lot more than compared to when the number is very big.
That is right. So to address that, so obviously I can't control who's downloading the app and who's using it. Everyone's a user. Men are as much of a user of Cusp as women are, and I have to respect that. But as an early stage startup, I did figure out by speaking to my mentors at some of the incubators that I've been part of, and through focus groups and customer interviews, essentially, that I realized that if there are enough women on Cusp, men will automatically be drawn to it.
Exactly.
So now how do I make sure that like enough women come on the platform and stay? So to address that thing exactly, I made the display picture mandatory, because now women know that anyone that I'm talking to is an actual person. It's not like especially now with AI, it's like you can just create a profile by putting AI generated images, making you look like a stud when you're really just some guy on the street. So it's like that is the first thing I did, like complete authenticity and genuineness on the platform first. Secondly, I made the process of connecting two people a 2-part process. It's like you have to act on the eye contact you just made. So it's a mutual acceptance. Like I like you, you like me. We both press the button. So that's step 1. Step 2 is actually accepting the person's profile. So it's such a filtered through mechanism that only genuine people will be on the platform, and 2, that the connections they'll make will be extremely genuine, and they'll be set at a very high standard as compared to matching on a traditional dating app. So these are the things that I kept in mind while building Cusp. And these theories or assumptions came from, like I said, customer interviews. I spoke to only women before building the app. Spoke to more than like 30 women between 18 and 28, students, working professionals. And I kind of drew like commonalities from all my conversations and then incorporated that in my value proposition.
Okay. So then one question that from what you're saying, आप जो बोल रहे हो उससे लग रहा है कि आप mainly target कर रहे हो audience को, मतलब college. Obviously you are also in a certain age bracket, so you would have easy access to people in that age bracket. So you are targeting people from 18 to 30, 28, 30 mostly.
Yeah, so the target audience, I would say, is men and women living in metropolitan, densely metropolitan areas, because there's a lot of footfall. People are crossing each other's paths, making eye contact. So living in metropolitan areas, this includes college students, it includes professionals, it includes people going to the gym, people that have an interest in spontaneous connections as compared to sitting and swiping or sitting and scrolling from behind a phone. So this is like my target customer persona, essentially.
सो वुड डोंट यू थिंक कि आप थोड़ा रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर रहे हो योर टारगेट ऑडियंस को, बिकॉज आप जो एज ग्रुप की बात कर रहे हैं ना मेट्रो सिटीज़ में, दे स्टिल फाइंड इट ईजियर टू गो अप एंड हैव अ कॉन्वर्जेशन. It's the people who are beyond 30, 35, 40. There is a lot, big population who's single,
Right.
and who's wants to find love. They probably lack the confidence to go up and talk or
Right.
have a conversation. So don't you think कि आपको कोई age restriction, or you should have like a different app or a another
features in the same app.
features in the app which has some age filters, because why would you want to restrict?
Yeah, so I'm not deliberately restricting anyone from participating. Anyone that makes eye contact, wants to get connected, by all means, use Cusp. It'll only be of advantage to you. However, like I said, I'm at the MVP stage, minimal viable product. So MVP is like the first version of the app. So think of when WhatsApp's first version had come out. Like it was nothing close to where it is right now. So for the first version, it only has like one core feature and 3-4 sub features that are being tested in the market. उनको मतलब आप अच्छे से टेस्ट करोगे, आपको पता चलेगा कि कौन क्या यूज़ कर रहा है, कितना यूज़ कर रहा है, फिर आपको पता चलेगा कि ये फीचर चल रहा है, ये नहीं चल रहा है. Then you will kind of know, so it's a whole product roadmap that kind of gets built over a period of 4 to 5 years before you find product market fit. So I'm
So
at
you're open to everything. It's not that you close
very much. When I describe my target customer persona, it's from my limited research and experience and my interaction with customers so far. But once there are like 10,000 users, 20,000 users on the app, there's going to be people of all ages from tier 2, tier 3 cities even, because that's where it's harder to connect. Like you said, in metropolitan cities कोई भी किससे भी बात कर लेगा, दोस्तों से मिल लेंगे एक दूसरे से. Tier 2, tier 3 towns is actually like a big problem which another dating app is addressing actually. But yeah, that's kind of where Cusp will be on version 4 or 5.
But if you are going to be targeting those tier 2, tier 3 towns or villages or whatever cities, then what you need to do is have your app in regional languages as well, because
That is right.
not everyone in India सब English नहीं बोलते.
बिल्कुल.
दूसरी चीज़ ये है कि आप कोरियन के ड्रामा देखते हैं?
कोरियन?
K-drama,
नो, नहीं, मैं मुझे नहीं पसंद कोरियन के.
तो आपने जो ये आइडिया, मतलब जो ये ऐप है ना, वो एग्जैक्टली सेम ऐप मैं भी नहीं देखता, लेकिन कोई देख रहा था और मैंने वो पार्ट देखा था, पोर्शन देखा था, जिसमें एग्जैक्टली कोई ऐसी ऐप यूज हो रही है. आई थॉट के कोई किसी फ्रेंड ने आपको एडवाइस दी या वो देखती है या ऐसा कुछ है, क्योंकि गर्ल्स, आई हैव सीन मोर गर्ल्स वाचिंग दैट के ड्रामा, व्हाटएवर के सीरीज, के ड्रामा, व्हाटएवर इट्स कॉल्ड. और उसमें देयर वाज अ सीक्वेंस वेयर there is a college and there people are using this app and they open the app and when they make an eye contact and things like those. So
wow, that's a interesting discovery that I just made.
Because I was like when you told me about it, I thought like in the next 5-10 minutes I remembered that this is where but I didn't tell you that time because I wanted to ask you now.
Correct.
Anyway, so then the question comes कि ये ऐसा idea कि eye contact से होना चाहिए connection, ये idea कहाँ से आया, मतलब where did you get this idea from?
Yeah, so जैसा मैंने बताया 17-19 साल के बीच में जब मैं कॉलेज जा रहा हूँ, जिम जा रहा हूँ,
आपके साथ ऐसे एक्सपीरियंसेस बहुत बार हुए?
पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस आज भी होता है और काफी बार मैं जाके बात भी करता हूँ. आई विल गो एंड अप्रोच अ चिक इफ आई रियली थिंक लाइक शी इज ब्यूटीफुल, शी इज अप्रोचेबल, शी इज फ्रेंडली, आई विल गो एंड टॉक टू हर. But a lot of times it doesn't happen, man, because you're like I said, you're on the other side of the street. You have like so many other things going on in your head. You have to go and pick something up and get on the bike और गाड़ी में घुस के वापस अभी घर पे आना है. सब कितनी चीज़ें होती है, तो उसमें वो रह जाता है कि shit, she's attractive now and I'm if I'm gonna miss this opportunity, she's gone. I'm probably never gonna see her again. So how do I make sure that there's a chance that I can connect with her? So I'll tell you what. So even if I have Cusp, she has Cusp, I press the I made eye contact button, she doesn't. She'll still get a notification that I used Cusp at this time. So maybe, for whatever reason.
It shows your profile or your name that you...
That's right. So it shows my profile.
It's both. It's not like the girls only receive for men. It's like men will also receive if the female...
Correct.
Okay, fine.
So like I said, the main feature is the I made eye contact button. I want to compel the user to...
But the notification is very important, what you said.
Correct.
Because एज यू सेड कि आप काम में होते हो, आपको यहाँ से वहाँ जाना होता है, भूल जाते हो,
दिमाग
तो
किधर
सेम
और-
चीज़ आप ऐप खोलना भी भूल सकते हो उस टाइम पे.
बिल्कुल.
लेकिन अगर आपको नोटिफिकेशन आ जाता है तो अच्छा, दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू आस्क, देन इफ यू डिडंट ओपन द ऐप एट दैट टाइम, you got a notification, so when you go home, when you reach home, now you're not in that same place anymore.
Correct.
But still it will show you that at this time
Yeah, so it'll
it has
show
a
you.
history.
Correct. So that feature is called alerts, alerts, alerts. So alerts are all the people that use the app and the time they used it at. So it's like Rushabh Mehta 2:56, Sumit 4:30. So
Okay.
you'll see the profile picture and you'll see the time. And then when you click on that profile picture, you'll see the profile also. So when you do that, they'll get a notification that this person viewed your profile. So that is a viewed me feature. So whoever opened my profile, I get a notification that this person saw. So you can see the people that saw your profile. So you can check their profile out, and then even they'll get a notification that, and then you can send them an opening message. So opening message is sending one message first, and if they reply to your message, you can continue chatting. If they don't reply to your message, then that's it. You can't message them any further.
Okay. So if someone has used the app while, say for example, let's take a live example, I leave this place and I go towards my car,
Right.
and on the way, I have an eye contact with someone, okay, and if that person has used the app and that notification has come to me,
Yep.
I remembered I got into some other work, like I got busy with something, so I forgot about it. Now when I reached home and I opened it, so it's going to show me that this person at this time has used this
It will-
app, and what all, it will show me the entire profile, like this person has.
Yeah, you can see their profile.
So what are the details on the profile that you can see?
So name, age, your mandatory display picture. So everything else is optional. You can choose to put as much details as you want or as little
So
details.
the name, are you even saying that users have to use their own name? Like, is there any verification, or you can use any username?
No, there's no verification on the name, because the verification's on the picture, like I said. So for a fact this guy's an actual person. But if they put their first and last names to be different, yeah, there's nothing to
Okay.
stop them
मैं
from
क्यों
doing
पूछ रहा
that.
था, क्योंकि इंडिया में when you want to get females on board, कभी safety point of view से भी sometimes you don't want to reveal their identity, because
Yeah.
it's not always the good people who are using the app. So if someone sees someone use the app at this time, and that person has a regular route every day,
Correct.
there are bad things that can happen. I mean, so
Correct.
identity, sometimes not revealing your identity is also what the females want.
You're right. Yeah.
So,
So
it's good that this is there.
it's optional. Like first name, last name is optional. Your age is everything's optional except your picture.
Okay. And how many users? I think as we spoke as well, first you would concentrate on getting more users in one region,
Exactly.
so that the app gets on, and like it's active and it's vibrant, right? So how many users? आपको कितने users आपको लगता है कि you will need in like a city like Bombay, where you feel that the app is thriving and then it's multiplying? Like how many users? What is that mark?
That mark can be as little as 1,000 users. It can be as much as 10,000 users. So in this range, like even if I reach 2, 3, 4,000 daily or monthly active users, which means there'll be about 7, 8,000 downloads. 7,000 downloads रहेंगे तब जाके 1-2,000 active users रहेंगे. That's usually the ratio. So even if I get to like 2,000, 3,000 people that are using the app on a daily or a weekly basis, then that's more than enough for investors to look at it and go like, I want to put my money down. Just Google dating apps funding. You'll find like only in the last 1 month, there was a dating app which got funded $2.5 million purely based on the number of users. Before that, there were like 2 Indian dating apps that got funded even, I think 5-6 crore around that was. So yeah. So I can go that far with my own kind of efforts and with the runway that I have. But eventually after that 3,000, 4,000 users mark, when I want to scale it to like 40,000, 50,000 users, I'm going to need like a dedicated tech team. I'm going to need a marketing team. And for that, I'm going to require like venture capital because monetization, like I said, for social media apps is kind of like a long way. But initially, it's all about building a loyal user base that, that have trust in your product.
Correct. So just hypothetically, if after this podcast, say for some reason it goes viral and you have a lot of downloads and it helps you get great funding, then what's my cut?
Man, I was thinking about the same thing yesterday. I was like,
oh, so you did contemplate paying me for cut?
Yeah, as in, if this
then I'll take a percentage of the funding. I'm not going to...
Yeah, there's so many ways I can compensate you if things go the right way. And like I said, man, this is my first podcast. I'm grateful to be here. So I'll always reciprocate that back to you.
No, I mean, I was joking.
No, no, no,
When
but
you do something, you don't
yeah.
do it with an expectation of
I
something
know,
in return.
I know, and that's I could sense that in our conversations that you didn't like just call me on because you wanted something out of me. You just genuinely wanted to have a conversation with me. Like I knew that from the get go. But still, I'm saying that later on when things actually work out, like you're gonna be the first person I come to actually make this like even more PR and brandy going forward.
Thank you so much. I hope your app reaches where you wanted to reach. Yeah.
We'll see.
So,
I mean, it's for me. It's just it's not really about it becoming a success. I had a problem, so I created a product which is a solution to it.
Correct.
And now I'm just testing if people have the problem. If they don't have this exact kind of problem, I can still pivot it to a point where I can meet them where the problem is, and then it'll work. Or it might not work at all. I don't know, but it's like I had a problem. I created a product out of it, so that's where my high comes from. And going forward, I can create like so many. I've done it once, so I can do it 2, 3, 4 times going forward. So we'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah. तो आपने जो अभी फंडिंग वाली बात की ना, तो आई वांट टू टेल यू कि जितना मैं तो इसमें कोई आई एम नॉट एन एक्सपर्ट टू कमेंट ऑन दिस, बट एज अ यूज़र व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज के मोस्ट apps or most businesses who are small and who have got funding have been those businesses who genuinely cared about solving problems at that time and didn't make a business from the perspective of getting taken over. This is what my understanding says. Whether you say, I don't know what happened, how much funding Swiggy has got, Zomato has got, I know nothing about it. But I just know that it worked because it solved a big problem.
Huge problem.
तो अगर आपका concentration problem solving पे रहेगा, then I feel you will go in the right direction. क्योंकि अगर आप एक business बना रहे हो कि मेरे इतने users हो जाए and then I get taken over, I don't think it can work because there are many people who think like you and me and they would be doing stuff that's similar.
Correct.
So then what's your is your intention to be taken over as soon as possible, or you want to really make sure that the app actually you want success stories? Like how do you look at this?
Yeah, when I walk down the street and I make eye contact with someone, I want to open Cusp, press a button and get connected with them. That's my vision of the app. And same thing with all the users. It doesn't matter if users are paying me like 5 rupees per month or they're paying me 500 per month for a subscription or whatever. But like I said, my vision is that everyone around the world making eye contact with each other can get connected through Cusp. And maybe along that journey there'll be VC venture capital coming in. Maybe there'll be like bigger companies trying to buy me out. I don't know where the road will take me. But as long as I'm true to this vision, I'll keep going and I'll die trying to make it a success. That's my whole thing.
So tell me one thing कि अब ये जैसी ऐप है, मतलब आपके पास तो क्या डेटा होगा, यूज़र का डेटा होगा एट द मैक्स. तो आपको हाउ विल यू जज कि ये ऐप सक्सेसफुल हुई कि नहीं? मतलब व्हाट इज नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स छोड़ दीजिए, वो एक डेटा पॉइंट हो गया,
एक KPI हो गया.
पर ये ऐप आपने जिस चीज़ के लिए बनाया कि इसका सक्सेस मैं जितना समझता हूँ कि आई कॉन्टैक्ट होने के बाद उनकी बातचीत होगी. That is the first step of success, कि they both connected, and the second step of success would be that they actually meet and then whatever happens. ठीक है, तो how do you इसमें आपको सक्सेस पता कैसे चलेगा कि हो रहा है कि नहीं?
Yeah, so on the back end I can see all the people that downloaded the app. I can see the people that actually put their display picture. A lot of times people will download the app, but at that point they'll stop using it. So there's those users, there's those that actually...
Can you read their messages?
No, I cannot. Not yet, because it's a pretty basic admin panel that I have. Like I said, this is the first version.
Not yet, but then when you are saying this, then it's very important that the safety is protected as well, because
Completely.
अगर आप ये बोलोगे कि आप मैसेज पढ़ सकते हो तो शायद लोग डाउनलोड ना करें ऐप.
नहीं, पढ़ तो कभी भी कोई नहीं पाएगा. वो encrypted रहेगा, end to end WhatsApp, end to end encryption. It's like it's there in the database. The chat that goes on, it exists in the database, but it's in code. It's not in like visual format, and that code needs to be there, because otherwise the authorities will come to you. You know what happened with Telegram's founder? He was letting all kinds of communication happen on the platform, and the authorities like put him in the jail. So that needs to be there, but that's in the database. Like not me, not anyone in my company can ever see it or will ever intend to see those pieces of communication and use that in any way. Of course not.
तो अभी मुझे ये बताइए कि आप जैसे ये ऐप से नॉर्मल लोगों को तो पता नहीं होगा, इसमें से पैसे कैसे आप बनाएंगे? हाउ आर यू गोइंग टू मोनेटाइज दिस?
Yep. So couple of different ways. First is a subscription. So on the free version you get access to features, I made eye contact button around you, people that viewed you, alerts, all these different features, and the I made eye contact button you get access to in the free version. You can match, you can message. In the paid version, you have greater visibility on the platform. You have a priority matching algorithm working for you. You have also
But how does visibility come into picture? You're only going to be matched with people whom you have an eye contact with.
correct. So that's the very real time feature, which is you make eye
Achha,
contact.
you still have
get connected.
browse.
You still have a feature which says which is around you. So around you are all the profiles that are in your area.
5 kilometers.
And you can set that. So you can go into filters. You can set kilometer wise. You can set it like to 1 kilometer to more than 100 kilometers. So these are all the people that live in your area or in your city, for that matter. These aren't people you've necessarily seen in real life or made eye contact with, but you can still see their profiles. If you like them, you can send them an opening message. Like I said, you send them a message. If they also see your profile, they like you, they'll reply to your message. Then you can continue chatting. So in the around you section, you'll have greater visibility. You'll have greater visibility, and you'll have like priority algorithm working for you in terms of like showing you the closest people to you, or the closest people that you can actually make eye contact with, if not today, then a few days later. So you get all this in the premium version as compared to the free version. So this is one. Second way of monetizing is the I made eye contact button itself. So there's a limit to the number of times you can press the I made eye contact button every day.
Credits too.
Correct. So and that limit is still there. It's not like when the revenue model will be introduced, at that point the limit will be enforced. Like that limit still exists because and that limit is 10 times per day. You can only press that button 10 times per day, because otherwise लोग ऐसे ही दबाते रहेंगे, सोचेंगे ही कोई भी मेरे आजू बाजू में मुझे दिख जाएगा. I don't want that. और 10 बार से ज्यादा तो कोई आई कांटेक्ट बनाने भी नहीं वाला दिन में. तो अभी के लिए मैंने वो 10 रखा है. 10 is the free version. After 10 you get a prompt that says come back tomorrow. So now later when I have thousands of users, on that prompt it'll say come back tomorrow, but to continue, if you want to use it today, then pay 10 rupees for one time, 30 rupees for like 5 times. I haven't decided the figures yet, but that's another way I can monetize, which is essentially in-app purchases. So one is the subscription, which I talked about. This is an in-app purchase, which is you purchase these credits, so to say. Third way is advertising, which is essentially having events at nightclubs and bars. For example, like a singles mixer. You have like a singles mixer at a nightclub, only single people showing up, and which is based on eye contact. So you show up, you don't have to do approaches, nothing. Just make eye contact, press a button and get connected. So for that, there'd be like a cost to the entry, and maybe there'll even be like a like something from the club that we'll make, because we're bringing all these people to the club. So that's the third way. Fourth way is collaborating with restaurants, bars, hotels, and having them provide discount coupons to people that match. So you asked me earlier, what is like a success metric of this app? Obviously, number of downloads, active users are the two biggest success metrics, but the number of matches are like a North Star metric. Like a North Star metric is where all the attention is at. So it's like the more number of matches that happen on the platform, the more likely people are going to use it. So now when two people just match in, for example, Bandra West, close to Carter Road, maybe two people just matched. So a lot of the cafes that will be on Cusp, they'll all give these two guys discount coupons of restaurants, bars, clubs, and be like, you can come here for the first date, here's a 20% discount coupon. So this is...
Couldn't there be misuse of the app then in that case? There are two existing friends who could keep matching unnecessarily.
Yeah, I mean, in
India, people would think of loopholes wherever possible. So
You're right. That could happen completely. But also, this is telling the restaurants that we're giving you greater visibility, we're giving you greater reach. People that wouldn't usually explore you out will now actually see a discount coupon and be like, let's check them out. So it can go both ways, but this is certainly a revenue model. And then lastly, I would say selling aggregated but anonymous data insights. So, there's tens of thousands of people, all their interests, all their prompts are on the app. We know, who likes what. And so we can make them anonymous. We can like compile that data, categorize it, and sell it to other dating platforms without revealing any names, identities, numbers, which is what, a lot of these tech companies do.
बट देन अ लॉट ऑफ यूजर्स, बहुत लोग इसी से परेशान है कि हम कहीं पे डेटा देते, डेटा हमारा कहीं चला जाता है, शेयर हो जाता है, फिर घूम फिर के आपने जिनके साथ शेयर किया उन्होंने किसी और के साथ शेयर किया, फिर वो मार्केटिंग कॉल्स आते रहते हैं, ये सब. तो इज
Here's
डेटा शेयरिंग अ स्मार्ट थिंग, आई मीन इन टुडेज?
correct. So data sharing is inevitable. I would say you have to do it to
Yeah,
survive.
the moment you sign up somewhere, your data is being shared. Everyone understands that.
Correct. No, I'm talking from the platform side, like not from the user side. User side, obviously, you're sharing your data to be able to use the platform. But from the platform side also, it's kind of inevitable that they have to find a way to make it anonymous and sell it to keep the platform running. Maybe there'll be times when funding is on the low, there'll be times salaries are high, people are not buying. So they have to figure a way to, as long as people are liking and loving the product, they have to find a way to keep the runway going. So this is one of the ways, but here's where it differs. At Cusp, what I'll make sure, and I'll say this on your podcast, what I'll make sure is that every time like I'm selling someone's data, like I'll compensate them for it either monetarily or through the app. Like I'll maybe give them like a year-long subscription. I'll maybe give them, more credits, or I'll give them invites to these exclusive events at nightclubs or whatever. Or I'll be like, your data is probably going to be sold completely anonymously, but we want you to get compensated. So here's like $0.2 for every data point that we share right into your account.
Okay. It's great that you're saying it, but this purely depends on your integrity. If you're saying it and then you have to follow it, there is no other,
I hadn't even thought about this until now, until you made me say it. You're like, there's a negative connotation behind people realizing that their data has been shared, from one platform, and now they're getting marketing
I mean, if
calls.
I'm being told by some app that your data is going to be shared, then I wouldn't want to necessarily be on the app unless and until it's very,
That's right.
required, necessary for me.
You're right. So, when the second or the third version comes out, which is like a later iteration, there's going to be advanced safety and privacy control. So you can choose not to. If you choose that your data not be shared, by all means. And even if you don't select that, from Cusp, when we actually end up, when we're about to like share your data or sell your data anonymously again, we'll give you the option that, here's how we can compensate you. We can pay you a part of the revenue that comes to us, or we can give you all these free features, or here's us saying that we won't share your data. So select your priorities. So those priorities and safety controls will be implemented and be made visible to the end user in the second or the third version.
Okay, just one thing about the point you previously made about active users. You laid stress on active users, but then don't you think like the more successful your app is, the more older users become inactive? Because if someone's matching with someone and they actually end up dating, then they stop using the app. So that's an extreme assumption that everyone who would match would date. But I'm saying that the more people who would match, obviously you don't expect a lot of people who are dating and then using the app. There will be still some people who do that. So then shouldn't your concentration be on acquiring new users? Like the cycle has to keep going on. Like the new users have to keep coming in.
You're right. So like we discussed earlier in the podcast, I have to focus on specific regions to begin with.
But you need to continuously get in new users, right?
I do. So like I said, I need to focus on micro communities within a particular region. So let's say Mumbai, micro communities being colleges, gyms, corporate buildings, put up QR codes at restaurants, etc. That is a user acquisition strategy. Now, once by doing all this, I've acquired, say, 2,000 users in 1 month. So how I service these 2,000 users is a completely different conversation and a strategy as compared to continuing this process. Like this process will get continued. New users will keep on coming onto the platform. But how do I constantly keep serving my existing users? How do I make sure
that they don't move out without using the app?
And ideally, I would want everyone to match on the platform, go out a couple of times, realize that they're made for each other or not. There'll be so many times when they realize that
even if they meet and realize they're not for each other, still that I would count it as a success of an app because it's presented you that opportunity.
Correct. And like you said, even if two people date, get married even, and they delete the app, which they will obviously. That's
they're assuming,
again another North Star metric. Marriages from Cusp. So even if it doesn't go that far, they just start hanging out, they delete the app. They'll still remember, like if it wasn't for Cusp, they wouldn't have met. and so that human factor kicks in there. Like they'll talk about it with their friends. They like spread the word, and that is the most important thing. Like word of mouth works better than any kind of paid marketing, influencers, name it. And so if people are matching and deleting the app, that's success. Hinge actually, its tagline says designed to be deleted, because like
You want people to
Yeah.
match and then delete it.
and like move out. Obviously they're not like staying true to that statement.
Of course. You come close to matching, I think they'd do everything to not let you match.
Yeah, man, they'll keep prompting you to upgrade to premium. They like there'll be so many fake profiles. There's just a lot that goes on there, but the marketing campaign is essentially designed to be deleted, which is not what our marketing campaign is. It never will be, but the intention will be that, is what I'd say.
So, आप कितने जन हो टीम में? मतलब you alone, like how many people are there in the team?
So I'm the sole founder. I own 100% equity as of now.
Fine.
I work with a software development company that has built the app, designed the app, launched it. They're also with me right now in the annual maintenance contract. So any bugs come, they instantly recognize it, they eliminate it. Bugs and glitches, basically, if the app fails or someone's not able to upload the picture, like they'll know what's going on. So I'm working with them. So they're a contracting company, software development contracting company that I'm working with. So they're not like my direct team, but as of now, that's who I have. And then
you would need a proper team of yourself, the kind of goal you're looking at. You can't be working too long the way you are, right?
You're right. Which is why I said, once I at least reach that 2,000-3,000 users mark, I'm going to find myself in a comfortable situation as far as funding goes. And I'll need external funding. I'll need venture capital, angel investment. And I'm still doing that, by the way. Like I'm actively approaching angel investors, VC firms. And I'm finding it a little hard to have leverage in that conversation because it's still growing. The app is still growing to that 2,000-3,000 mark. But when I get there, or even before that, if someone's actually believing in the idea, puts their money where their mouth is, I'll dedicate a part of that money to hiring an in-house CTO, an in-house CMO, chief marketing officer, chief technology officer, and even they'll have like a little bit of their own team. Like they'll have 4-5 members under them, and I'll still have these contractors. These contractors will not go because they've been with me. Like they know the concept, and so they'll be working with the CTO on the marketing side. They'll be working with the CMO, and I'll continue to constantly innovating the product. I'll continue to raise money. I'll continue to finding ways of making the revenue models work. So that'll be my role. But right now my role is everything. It's like product, marketing, tech, sales. I don't know if you've checked out the Instagram. Like I'm going to women, again, just only women, and having a conversation with them about dating apps.
Yeah, I saw 1 or 2 reels. Yeah.
Correct. And it's been a fun journey, but it's been as exhausting as it is fun, because every 10-15 women I talk to, maybe one agrees to the interview. So it's like, it's hard after getting all those rejections to still kind of keep going. And, and that 15th or 20th approach, one girl says yes, and you're like, that's it. This is all I needed for 1 or 2 reels for my Instagram, and it worked. And that, I think, comes from my ability to go door to door selling, constantly getting rejection. So I think those two things have that in common.
Okay. How big is the dating industry in India, if you can throw some light on it?
Yeah, of course. So let's talk about the total addressable market, TAM. You must have heard Shark Tank,
Yes.
the buzzword TAM. So the total addressable market is, I'll say, around 400 million people globally. So 400 million, which is 40 crore people around the world that use dating apps. So that's the TAM, that's the overarching figure. Then the next level you have SAM, serviceable addressable market, if I'm not wrong. So SAM. So that's basically, the market that you can capture or you can target.
Yeah.
Now, here's the total. What can you reach out to from that?
Yeah.
In India, there are about 80 million users, 8 crore dating app users. So that's the serviceable market. And then you have the next layer, which is SOM, share of market. Like how much of this serviceable market can I actually serve and, make mine? Because there's a lot of competitors.
How much is that?
That is, the share of market is about I'm gonna have to take a look at my notes here.
No, it's okay. You can just to give an approximate.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you had 80 crore to
8 crores is we said
the total addressable.
yeah. So
And
how
then-
many do you think like you can tap into? Just an approximate.
so-
1/10 of that, 1/5 of that.
Correct, 110. So let's catch
A crore
80
maybe.
80 lakh.
Yeah. Okay.
80 lakh is, so we're catching like 1%, which is a very reasonable, very humble assumption. Like it can definitely go more than that. But like 1% also, if I capture, that's like 8 lakh people across India that I can target and have on the platform.
80,000 it would be. If 80 lakhs is the figure, 1% of that would be 80,000. 8 lakh would be 10%.
Okay.
So 80,000. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, 80,000 people to begin with. And like I said,
So if 80,000 people were to download your app tomorrow, you think your app will be able to handle it?
it would. As of now, there's nothing wrong with it technologically. There's
So
just
sometimes certain apps, like when there is sudden rise in users, they just crash. It's happened to the biggest of the apps. So you think your app is ready. If tomorrow, forget 80,000, if like 5,000 people were to download the app tomorrow, you think your app would not crash and it would work well?
Yeah. So the app would definitely be able to handle it. It's just that my computing costs, my server costs,
It goes up.
It goes up.
But then you
of
wouldn't
course.
mind it if you're getting 5,000 users.
Correct,
right?
correct. But yeah, to your point, there'll be exceptions where it crashes. So in the case of lack of network, or maybe the Wi-Fi goes out, or maybe the device is an
I'm
old
saying
one.
because of the increase in users, would that be the reason of it crashing? Okay, and that with the weak internet connection, it would crash, is what you're saying.
Correct. So say for example, in 3 days, 5,000 users download the app, create a profile. So in that 3 days time, there can be instances out of those 5,000 where 10, 20, or even 50 users for that matter didn't get the OTP, were not able to upload their display picture. But again, those are exception bugs. If you just close the app and then you open it again, you try that, 99% it's going to work. So those are exception bugs, which is part of any technology platform. But in terms of the robustness, it's completely robust and it's going to be able to handle that kind of traffic.
Personally, I've not come across, let alone dating apps, I've not come across any apps personally which haven't had a glitch.
Yep.
The important part for me has been that which apps have solved the glitches the quickest.
Yes.
The amount of time you take to solve those problems matters, because you can't make a glitch-free tech product or anything
You're
for
right.
that matter, right?
You're right.
Okay, so I think,
Just to add on to that, we've set up like a customer service. I'm myself doing the whole customer service activity as well. So every time I see a new user come on the app, I instantly, send them an email. I send them a WhatsApp through our official Cusp accounts, and I'll tell them that any kind of feedback, just reach out to us. And if you face anything, not inappropriate or anything in terms of technical glitches or whatever, also do. And also on the admin panel, I have a way of figuring out if this person wasn't able to, use a particular feature. So even if I see on the admin panel that this feature wasn't used or wasn't used properly, I'll still reach out to the person saying that, are you good? Is there a way we can fix this? So I'm like talking to each and every customer that I'm able to right now, because we're in the early days of building it. So I need to have like that direct contact with the end user. And I'm, even when it scales, even when Cusp scales, I'm going to have like a dedicated customer service teams. Every tech company does.
Yeah.
You can't do without one. To actually, still have that ground level communication going, because ultimately your users are what make your product a success. And so, their interests are in my radar at every single point in time.
tell me, why did you think of the name Cusp? Does it have any relevance, significance? What is it?
Yeah, so there were a lot of names to pick from. I wasn't sure which one would be like the one that would stick, but I wanted it short. I wanted it to, I wanted people to like, as soon as they hear it, it should like trigger an emotion. And why I chose Cusp is because Cusp is essentially a transition point between two major events. So it's like
Cusp of victory or cusp of something.
Something like that. So you would have heard these dialogues in English movies even that go like I sense it, you're at the cusp of something great, you're at the cusp of this and that.
Yeah.
So Cusp is that moment where where you are right now to something greater than that. So yeah, I'm like, I just made eye contact with you. Now I pressed a button, I got matched with you. So 5 minutes back I didn't know who you were, but now I'm actually
Now
talking
at the
to you.
cusp of having a coffee with you, probably.
Something like that. So,
yeah.
so that's why Cusp stood out, and we went ahead with getting that domain and then eventually branding it with Cusp.
Great. Okay. Great. So I think I've asked whatever I wanted to, and also I want to keep this conversation crisp for the simple
Yeah.
reason that we are talking about your apps, so the focus shouldn't go away from
Correct.
there. So, is there anything closing thoughts that you want to say?
Nothing. Just check the app out. Message us in case of any
It's called
feedback.
Cusp, CUSP.
CUSP.
Right? That's
Yeah.
how dating, or is just the app is called Cusp.
So the app is called Cusp with a byline that says eye contact connections. Cusp
Okay.
eye
To be
contact
found
connections.
on Play Store, App Store,
App Store, Play Store,
Okay.
both. And yeah, I mean, we're at the moment we're like enrolling, brand ambassadors, people that spread it on social media, podcast guests. Even I've done 2 podcasts, not nearly as good as these, but like at my own capacity. So again, if anyone wants to just come and talk about online dating, their experiences in relationships, I'd be more than happy to host them on our podcast. In fact, I'd be happy to host you maybe at some point.
We'll see. We'll see if that happens. Yeah, why not? We'll check it.
But yeah, those are all the things I had. And if anyone wants to get in touch with me regarding anything, just going to the US, how I went from idea to product, just having an idea to going to actually creating a product, I'm more than happy to have any and all kinds of conversations.
Yeah, and the easiest way to connect to you today in today's day and age would be Instagram. Probably
Absolutely.
reach out. Okay.
Yeah, just reach out to me on Instagram.
Great. We will put your profile link below in the description.
Completely, that works.
Thanks, Rushabh, for coming
Thanks for having me.
explaining us your
course.
unique dating app.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I can't even say I'm looking forward to use it because I'm married, but I look forward to other people around me using it. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.